Welcome back, guys. Alex here with another video. I'm really pleased to be back with a fresh start after a nice break in the summer holidays, and this video is all about the awesome Vectrex. Now, it's funny, I say awesome because back in 1981-82, when I probably acquired one of these, I do remember having one of these back in the day, I didn't think it was that awesome at all. In fact, I thought it was pretty crap, to be honest with you. The slow release of games that came out for it and the lack of gameplay in a lot of them, I wasn't that overly impressed with the Vectrex when it came out back in the day, and I think a lot of people were in that mindset as well because it didn't do very well. In fact, I think it was only on sale for a few years and then the company went bust apparently. But now it's had a sort of bit of a revival with a really cool homebrew scene. And that's what I'll be touching on in this video. Some really cool homebrew games that have come out for the Vectrex in the last few years. And you know what, guys? They are absolutely awesome arcade conversions. They really are. But before we get into that, I want to show you what I've done with my Vectrex. Now, this Vectrex has a buzz-off kit installed. So that basically gets rid of the buzz. I know if you turn it on, you can hear that buzz, and the louder you turn it, the louder the buzz gets. It can get really annoying. I know some purists really like that, but if you want to really appreciate it through some really cool speakers like I've got here, I managed to find these NOS neon speakers from 1987 in the box, and they flash to the music, which is really cool. But it can be a little bit distracting, so I've turned that off. But still, I do love my neons, and they look really cool next to the Vectrex, which I'll show you a little bit later on. So with the buzz-off kit installed, you get rid of the buzz, and with the audio tap installed, now the audio tap basically allows you to plug speakers into the Vectrex. And for me, you know, it's all about the sound, you know, in every game, especially old arcade games, you know, when you've got speech, and you've got that rumble of old Space Invaders, and games like Robotron with all those Williams really cool sound effects. It's important to play games with sound turned on to 11, do you know what I mean? So for me, having this plugged into some really cool Vectrex really alters the gameplay, just makes it that much special. It's so cool, honestly. And so I've had the buzz kit installed, I've had the audio tap installed, and I've also had this UV light installed as well. Now this was made by James G. Watt. Now if you want to acquire one of these, you need to get on the Vectrex Unite Facebook page and sign yourself up to one of these. They're really, really cool. Basically it's just a Perspex frame, like a bezel, that you Velcro, or you can tie to the Vectrex with these little holes here either side if you don't want to stick anything on the actual Vectrex. But I've stuck mine on with Velcro, so it easily pulls off. And it's powered by the Player 2 port in here, so you can turn it off here. You just get the normal display. Turn it on. It's just got like a little LED strip inside that basically lights a UV strip, which is really cool. And with the overlays, now you need to get the overlays. See, without the overlays, it doesn't make any difference. Now these UV overlays are made by Lawrence. Again, if you want any of these, you need to get on the Vectrex Unite forum. These are UV overlays that you place, and as soon as the UV light hits them, you get that 3D effect. A little bit like this moon effect here is a little bit like the old Space Invaders, but I've got loads of UV overlays I'm going to show you in this video. But you know, it's so cool. I think it's really brought the Vectrex out and really made the gameplay that much special. And I think there's so much you can do with this UV. I mean, you could really incorporate it into the game somehow. I think I've seen there's a game called Death Chase. It's a really old late 70s arcade game where you're running down people. A bit controversial at the time, but when you hit the people in your car, the UV light flashes and a big skull appears on the screen. It's so cool. So there's lots of things going forward in the homebrew scene I think you could do with this UV light. It's so cool. So turning this up, I've got a really cool amp. It just sounds so cool. man, that is awesome, isn't it? That is so cool. Now this game here is by Christoph Tutz. This is an excellent arcade version of Time Pilot. This is Vector Pilot. And man, this is a brilliant game. Honestly, guys, you've got to get this in your collection. The music, so cool, isn't it? I could just sit here all day and play the music. So this is Vector Pilot, comes in these really cool cases. Some really cool artwork on the front, look at that, guys. And on the back there, you've got the overlay inserted in the back of the case, which we'll take out. Now, since I've got the UV overlays, you know, I wanted to go with them, but here I've got two different types of overlays I'll stick on just to show you what it's like. Okay, now let's try, what should we try? Should we try the red or the blue? Let's try the red, see what it likes. So we'll take the UV overlay off and stick the one that comes with the game on. Okay, inside the box you've got a beautiful presentation with a cart there and a lovely instruction inlay as well, which you always love an instruction manual. It's really, really cool. It's done a fantastic job of this. Look how cool this is. You know, it's got all the enemy ships there and the points that they're worth on the back there. It's a fantastic conversion from the arcade game. So we're going to stick the cart in, guys. Slots in at the side. Now, for people who don't know what a Vectrex is, basically a Vectrex is a vector monitor, not a raster monitor. So you don't get pixels, you get lines joined from dot to dot. And it's really, really cool. So games like Asteroids, Asteroids Deluxe, Black Widow. Oh God, there's so many, so many. God, I'm trying to think now what other vector games there are. Tempest, of course, the classic Tempest. So Time Pilot actually wasn't a vector game. So to bring this onto the Vectrex and make it into a vector game is super cool. So here you go, guys. You can see the overlay. Is that cool? I love that. Just like looking at it over and over again. It's just like... So what I'm going to do now is going to turn the lights off. I'm going to zoom right in on this game, okay? I mean, what cool presentation is that? I mean, it's so cool. Honestly, the music, the sound, the way it's presented. Right, so 1910, First World War. Now, you've got a bar at the top there, but if you can see, it's depleting as I'm shooting the enemy planes, and the object actually is to just clear a certain amount of planes to get off the level. Now I can shoot down the squadrons there for extra bonuses, and I can pick up a guy in a parachute for 2,000 points. And then at the end of the level, you'll get an end of level boss to shoot down to get on to the next level. And it is an airship. That's my goal, to shoot that. And there we go, we're out. We're off that first level. Here we go again, 1940, Second World War. Oh! Ah! Came about to shoot when you got me up the butt. Sometimes you're better off just forgetting them because you can get yourself in a bit of trouble. Oh! And we done it. Was that him? Oh no, it wasn't. I thought that was the end of the level boss. It's up there. Oh no, I got shot trying to go for the secondary boss. I've got 3 lives left. Done him. Extra life as well. Right, this is my favourite level. Don't know why, back in the arcades I used to love this level. I just love the helicopters. But the trouble with these, they've got homing missiles. All you have to do is a roundabout turn. Oh, God. Got 2 missiles after me. Ah. Don't ever get to where there's 2 after you. You need to get one of them down. Right, end the level. Boss, can you do it? Yes! I just see that missiles right up my butt. Right, we are on to Jet Fighters, 1984. Great year. Great year for Van Halen. Again, these have got homing missiles. Free up my butt. They go a little bit faster than you, so you've got to turn around and shoot them. I'm not doing too well, guys. Is that my last life? 1 life left. Can you do it? He hasn't done it. That is a hard level. Super cool though. Super cool. That's with the blue overlay. And as you can see with the red overlay, you get this. Mighty awesome. Yeah, our top score 92,000. That's not bad, you know. That is my top score. Huh. So there you go, guys. Absolutely awesome game, which you must have in your Vectrex collection. It is one of the best games I've played in a long time. It really is. And you know, to have this on this little system is just ultra cool. It's so cool. Anyway, the only thing I would say I would add to the Vectrex, which I find difficult, is the controls. These are not great controls at all. The joystick is really small. It's a little bit like the Play Choice 10 tabletop, really flimsy, and it's not great for these type of games at all. So I recommend playing with the 2 buttons for left, right and fire. So I would love an arcade stick for the Vectrex, and I know there are people out there making arcade sticks. I know Victor Marlin is making a really cool Asteroids control panel. I know Chris Binary Star is making spinners and arcade sticks as well, which actually I have got, which I'll show in my next video, because I will be doing more videos on some of these homebrew games, especially by Chris Parsons, who's made some fantastic games. and Christoph Tutz as well. So there's plenty more videos to come, but I just want to say a huge thank you to James G. Watt for getting me the UV light and frame, Lawrence for the UV overlays, the whole set. Awesome, mate. Really, really chuffed with them. And Christoph for the games that he sent me as well, which I'll be reviewing in my next video. And of course, Mark Whiting, who did the mod for me. Mark, you're a genius, mate, as always. You're a top bloke. He did the buzz-off kit and audio tap mod for me. I couldn't have done it. The whole machine has to be taken apart, and it's just not me. So thanks for that, Mark. Really appreciate that, mate. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm back, and I'll be uploading videos, hopefully, more regularly, on time, in the future. Thanks for watching. Give us the old thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.